if a man comes dressed like a woman, that he can't regularly attend service like that coming here.
God bless you. Thank you for joining me on Morning Nuggets. This is yours truly, Pastor Nate. And as always, it is my absolute pleasure every time I come and speak with you. I pray this video finds you well. And if you like what you will have heard before the end of this video, do not forget to smash that subscribe button. Bishop Patrick Wooten is one of the most controversial preachers in America. Every week he trends about something he said in his sermon. Now, I can kind of respect Bishop Wooten because he doesn't bow. He has strong convictions, and we've all heard the saying, if a man doesn't stand for something, he'll fall for anything. Lately, Bishop Wooten says something to the effect that, as you heard in the intro, that a man who dresses like a woman can't come to church regularly. Now, is that because he'll put that person out, or the power of God and the word of God is so strong that that person will either change or run the other way from the church? If he's talking about putting that person out, which we feel that's what he meant, that can be a tricky and sticky situation because you have some natural women who have men features. And on the other hand, you may have men coming to church dressing like women that you can't even tell because the aesthetics and everything look just like a woman. I've been in service and somebody after service said, you know what, that was a woman. Didn't even know. Sometimes you can't tell. So my question is, how is he going to tell? Maybe he's just going for the obvious look. Like if a man is going through just starting to transition, you can kind of tell he's a man. Maybe Bishop Wooten will go after that person, and vice versa if it's a woman that's going through transition, that's trying to look like a man. Because by the same token, if he's going to do it for the man who's transitioning in like manner, he should do it for the woman who's transitioned. That is to be fair. And here's some example. So if you share the same belief as Bishop Wooten, and you see this person right here, you probably would tell this person to leave because it's obvious that this is a man. This person here, you probably wouldn't tell this person to leave because this man looks just like a woman. This is a man. So you see, sometimes it's hard to distinguish. Now, unless you've been trained and you have a real good eye, you probably can tell. But if you just looking at a person, sometimes you can't. So that's why I'm saying it's very sticky and it's a tricky situation. I'm not condoning what Bishop said, nor am I against it, because I want to do what Christ would do. We're going to get to that in a minute. I mean, you can look at these women here. They're transitioning into a man, and you can't even tell. Are you going to tell them to leave? You going to tell the ushers to go look in their pants or look in their shirt or whatever to see if there's a scar there? I mean, do we tell the alcoholic to leave if he comes to church drunk? I've heard some stories, but for the most part, we'll let that person sit in the back so he or she won't disturb the service so they can get the word. And I've seen the power of God so strong in the church where the alcoholic came up and said, what must I do to be saved? The drug addict, the person who smokes, throwing their cigarettes at the altar. Come on, somebody. Just like Isaiah, the person who uses foul language, come up and say, I cuss, I use profanity, I want to be delivered from that. Y'all, come on now, the power of God is real. And the power of God alone, thank you, can change your life. There's no way you can encounter the power of God on a consistent basis and be the same. So In this situation, I go back to what Jesus would do. I always reference that. This is a different situation. We're talking about the woman who had the issue of blood. And then we're talking about transgender. Totally, completely different situations in nature. However, the concept is still the same. Y'all remember the one with the issue of blood who had that issue for 12 long years. This woman was an outcast to society. This woman was marginalized. This woman was considered unclean. This woman was discriminated against. She was like the scum of the earth. Just kind of paint a picture in your mind how this woman was treated and how this woman was viewed. She was not considered a normal part in society. But when she encountered Jesus, Jesus did not treat this woman like society or the church people may have treated her. He didn't marginalize her. He didn't discriminate against her. My God. He didn't make her feel like she was second class or lower class. My God. When she touched him, he touched her back. Woo! My God in Zion. Oh my God. You see what the power of God to do is. It was a life-changing touch. Jesus responded, you're made whole. Maybe we need to take on the mind of Christ. As a pastor, it is my desire to see souls touched and saved. And I don't care what walk of life you've experienced. Bring the drug addict, bring the alcoholic, bring the lesbian, bring the homosexual, bring the heterosexual who's sleeping around, bring the adulterer, the married man who's sleeping around with other women and other men, the married woman who is sleeping around with other men and other women. See, I don't discriminate. Bring them all. Come on in. And I'm going to show you the love of Christ and preach Jesus and him crucified. My God in Zion. Now let me ask you, many of you do not agree with what Bishop said, and many of you do. But I want to know what you really think. I want you to leave it in the comment section. Do you think Bishop should ask the transgender community to leave if they come to church? Or do you think he should just preach the truth and let the word do the work? And later on in that video, he said that he doesn't want the transgender to come in because of the children. Well, y'all, we want to protect our children because they're our future generation. But they're being exposed to all kinds of things out in the world when they go into school. You know, those children looking at pornography and all kind of stuff on the phone and being exposed to everything. So don't act new. These children probably exposed way more than you are. Now, that's not to say it's right, but they're being exposed. We just have to tell them right from wrong and trust that they will adhere to the teaching when they grow up. Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me this morning. In the meantime, in between time, be at peace and not in pieces. Till next time, my friend.